the action begins, your referee for this contest is Mark Goddard.
So here we are, a big world lightweight title defense for Rob Sinclair. And Stephen, one of the things I want to pick up on, we mentioned that being a late replacement, there might be cardio issues with Diego, but look at the other side of the coin. Isn't all the pressure on Rob Sinclair? Diego's got an alibi. I saved this fight. I came in late. Isn't it a win-win situation for him?
It kind of is, because if he loses this fight, he can say, well, I lost to the champion and it was last-minute replacement. But if he wins this fight, it's a massive win, the biggest of his career. Rob, damned if he doesn't and damned if he does. And it was one of those things where it depends on how the win happens for either man.
So here we go. The first round in this championship defense for Rob Sinclair. As the fight professor says, the opponent's changed, but technically the style hasn't.
Well, we know in his career that Diego has been a fast starter, but right now he's hanging out on the outside. He's eaten 3 low kicks as a result.
I always worry when they hang on the outside. When you've got an opponent that's known to bang, he's at a range that will always be dangerous.
And Diego looks very tight here.
Well, as you said, as to be expected, he's come in late. He's gone for the shot. And we saw straight away the left and right from Sinclair, but Diego ties him up.
Yeah, we got the over-under clinch. Diego Vital has got his back up against the fence, reaching down, but it's going to be very difficult for him to get a wrestling advantage against a guy like Sinclair. Sinclair is going to be patient here, and if he puts Diego on his back, he's going to be wary of the guard, and he's going to just start dropping bombs with punches and elbows.
And when you mentioned wary, what did you mean when you said that tightness? Do you think that comes from that wariness, that nerves?
I think so, because he's in there and he knows that, oh, here we go. Now, who would have thought this was going to happen? Diego Vital takes down Rob Sinclair. Can he capitalize? Can he get side control? He's almost got that right leg free.
Sinclair needs to... His elbows are going because, again, Vital was very close to the back of the head there.
Rob Sinclair, cool as a cucumber here on the bottom. Not really worried yet.
And again, striking with those elbows when he gets the opportunity.
Sinclair got to be careful of that guillotine, and he scoops under. He gets the takedown. Rob has got to be careful, and he pops him right down into side control. No way that guillotine can land in side control.
But Stephen, from that, as you said, opening tightness from Diego, he's been very calm since, and it's been a very even opening round so far.
You know, it really has, and I'm actually kind of shocked. Sinclair has taken him down, but Diego has popped back up, and he's still got that head controlled. He's got to be careful.
It's not a problem for him at the moment, though, is it?
No, it's not, because the arm is kind of hanging down. It's not diagonal.
But it seems to me that after that, as you rightly said, when they're up tight, that really tight movement from Diego, he's sort of relaxed into it a bit more now, and he's benefited from it.
You're absolutely right, Malcolm. It's a situation where now we've got a body lock by Sinclair, but Diego's still thinking about that neck, but his head is too high, and Diego almost got mount there. He's got guard, and he's looking at that guillotine choke. Diego being very competitive here.
Well, the thing that amazes me and shows us why MMA is so imaginative is we were all talking about how Sinclair will defend Diego Vital's attempts for takedowns. It's been totally the opposite way. We've seen Sinclair frustrated by Diego Vital's takedown defense.
Well, the interesting thing is that Rob Sinclair actually didn't score a takedown yet, because every takedown he had got Diego popped back up. Whereas in fact, Diego did get a takedown on Sinclair and put him on his back for a bit. So it's going to be a situation where there haven't been a lot of strikes landed, but Diego's doing extremely well in this fight. I think that what Sinclair needs to do is break free and get some punching room, because right now this is basically favoring the underdog, Diego Vital.
Now, if I was Diego Vital, knowing the history behind this fight, your corner would be happy if you really did try to finish this early, because his cardio still will be suspect on it. He needs to take advantage of these opportunities.
I think that he's doing exactly the right thing. He's jumping now. Good right elbow there by Sinclair, right on the jaw.
Vital took it, but he stopped dead, Stephen. I think that really shook him.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Sinclair didn't load up on that.
Oh, good body shot there, though, on the inside as well. And this is where Vital has to be careful. This is Sinclair's territory.
Yeah, going to the body against the guy who may not be trained fully for this fight is a really smart move.
Yes, there's a little bit around the body which you can forgive Diego Vital. There's training and then there's fight training, especially for a world title fight. And I think this will favour Sinclair.
Yeah, and Vital starting to drop his hands, not a good thing. Now, when you're far away, you don't have to carry your hands high. But when you get in close, you got to be really careful, especially with that right hand by Sinclair.
And you can see the body language of Sinclair change. He's so relaxed upright here now and so confident. And again, that shovel punch to the body.
Yeah, that left hook, left uppercut to the body. Boy, that's a devastating weapon. And he seems to have found a chink in the armor there of Diego Vital.
And again, I always notice, Stephen, when they're not as confident or as confident upright, how fighters will switch from orthodox to southpaw. Now, some people can do it naturally. It's not for Vital, and that, for me, shows that he's a bit worried when they're upright.
Yeah, I think so. And here we have Vital. He came out with that low kick, and Sinclair blocked it. But Sinclair came in blasting, and the surprise was that when it came to controlling up along the fence, that Vital did extremely well. And he really was never a threat with his guillotine choke. And Sinclair got the takedown, but look at this. Diego pops back up to negate the move. But there's that elbow, and there were a number of other strikes at the end of the round, especially the body punching by Rob Sinclair. I have this round by Rob Sinclair. He pulled it out there at the end, 10-9.
Well, you hear that from the fight professor. It is close, and Vital, I think, has done very well in the situation. But as I said earlier, Stephen, I do worry for him the longer the fight goes on.
5 rounds. 5 rounds.
Do you think he needs a bit more urgency? A couple of times there he was in good position with Rob. Do you think there needs to be a bit more urgency, a bit more devil-may-care attitude, knowing that maybe I can't do those 5? Sinclair definitely can.
I think you're right theoretically, but then you're talking about the gas tank here. And the gas tank is he's thinking, well, if I go for it now, I'm going to pay for it later. Oh, good low kick by Sinclair, right above the knee.
I think this is where Vital does not need to be for any length of time. Because as we saw here, he switched from orthodox to southpaw quite clumsily when he was under pressure. Take that pressure away. Do not be at this man's range.
Rob doing a really smart thing and varying his attack. He was going to the body a lot. And there it is again, that left hook right to the liver. Hello, Boss Rutan.
Oh, yes, an old sparring partner of yours. And again, as you said, it's the variety, Stephen.
That right low kick is finding its mark, and that's going to take away the shooting ability of Diego Vital.
And you can hear the crowd's response. Big fan base here for Rob Sinclair, and they like the way he's mixing it up with Diego Vital now. And he's beginning to ask you questions, as you said, of that midsection of Vital. Are you happy with the fact that Diego is still here standing? He's not firing back, but he's not looking to take him down either.
No, but Rob Sinclair is taking his shots here on the outside because he's not just going in a blizzard, because he knows that there's some danger still posed by the man across from him, Vital.
He doubled up that low kick to the lead leg, though, and that will tell.
See, Diego hasn't been able to tell. Oh, nice combination, and Diego fires back.
Tactically, this is obviously suiting Sinclair. Would you be worried in Vital's corner now? Would you say to him, let's tie up, let's take him down?
Well, yeah, but I think it's easier said than done, because especially at that first round, he's probably going to be trying to catch his second wind. Rob Sinclair did use a lot of energy trying for all those takedowns, but he's going to be the better conditioned athlete from the get-go.
Yes, and they're going in the clinch now, and again, as you said, Rob Sinclair, you talk of conditioning, he looks so calm at the moment. That short elbow that worked for him in the first round.
The short elbow was off. He was going to try and pummel for control with that right hand, and Diego tried to block it, so he threw the elbow instead. Oh, 1, 2, 3.
And the other thing that fascinates me is the way that when you have your hands low, how it can mean different things. At the moment, the low hands of Diego are signs of fatigue. The low hands of Sinclair, for me, are signs of extreme confidence.
Absolutely. Diego coming forward with an overhand right and a low kick of his own, but there wasn't a lot on either one of those shots.
Yes, the combination work of Rob Sinclair really catching the eye here in the second round of a potential 5.
Rob Sinclair is probably thinking, might want to load up now, because he's been able to find a home for the left hook and the right low kick.
Well, despite all that, and despite the success upright, he was the one that went for the double leg.
Yeah, he was going for the double leg. I think he wants to take him down and ground and pound him, Sinclair. wants to do that to Diego Vital. Vital really showing a lot more schooling than you would think. You know, coming in short notice, he's really a savvy fighter. A young man. He's only 23 years of age. If he loses here, it's going to be a great growing experience because he was competitive in that first round.
Well, already it's no disgrace. He showed very well in the first round, especially as you said early. And his defense here and his courage here, because some of those combinations from Sinclair have been very clinical.
Yeah, and Sinclair really blocking the takedown, doesn't want to get taken down again. He probably had to be thinking to himself, how did I let this guy take me down? I'm the wrestler.
And again, a sneaky little uppercut and a close elbow. Sinclair really used the range, and that punch in the midsection will take its toll.
And there was a really sneaky little left knee to the floating rib of Diego Vital, and that seemed to have folded him just a little bit.
Short left in reply from Diego, but do you feel that the right maybe is just beginning on this wall, Stephen?
Yeah, I think so, but Diego is still there. It is only round 2. Potentially we have 3 more after this. But Diego has slowed down quite a bit.
Yes, it was noticeable there where his offense upright looked very clumsy in comparison. He clips him with the right hand, but there's nothing behind that.
No, because he's showing it to him. He's not setting it up with a jab or fading down. And nice right cross there by Rob Sinclair.
As if to say to Diego Vital, that's how you throw the right. So last 30 seconds of the round, and I think this one's far easier to call.
Yeah, it's been Rob Sinclair all the way. I wouldn't say he's necessarily dominating him. He's definitely outpointing him, though. It's not a close round, but he hasn't been close to stopping Diego Vital.
Again, cornering his man, and some good shots and then turned away, but I think we're both in agreement here. Easy to score for Sinclair, so let's forget him. What has Diego Vital got to do? He's 3 more rounds potentially. We've said he's got nothing to lose, but he didn't have the success in this round that he had in the first.
He's got to try and trick him and catch him coming in with one of those left hooks, because so far when Sinclair has come in with that left hook to the body or to the head, Diego has done nothing to try and counter it. A good counter would be throw the overhand elbow straight down the middle and try and crack his forehead open.
Yeah, he's had, as we saw with that short right, some success, but Sinclair has been happy to close that distance, and it's those shots to the body that surely Fight Professor will start to take their toll.
So many beautiful body shots by Sinclair. It's really going to have an effect the longer this fight goes.
Now, if I was Diego Vital, the other thing that might worry me is